Welcome to Great Greys, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 16th of January 2025. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. We've got a very busy program upcoming. We'll catch up with the Shane Train Williams. Get across to our man Jason Campbell to find some winners tonight there at Albion Park and Hobart. The Hall of Famer Neil Brown, he'll be joining us to have a look at tonight's Sandown action. Then, of course, it's across to South Australia to catch up with Sean Matheson and rounding it out with Simon Orchard to talk all things New South Wales greyhound racing. But let's get that new ball Jasper Brummer style and catch up with our great mate, the Shane Train Williams. Hello, Shane-o.
Good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners.
Nice to be with you. How's your week? You're progressing. You've been tipping quite a few winners this week. There's been a bit of success for the kennel. It's been a good few days.
Yeah, it's been back in home soil for a couple of days now, Shorty, and good to get out of Sydney and back to these 40-degree temperatures. I'm loving it, and it's been not too bad on the tip, and hopefully we can continue it over the weekend.
Absolutely. It didn't quite go to plan across there in New South Wales at Wentworth Park, but it's never easy to hit the road and take on good quality opposition on their home deck and the like. You've had more success than no success with Iconic Jet. The dogs measured up really well. Didn't quite go to plan this time around, though.
Yeah, no, it didn't go to plan, Shorty, but as it's been well documented, he's had some legitimate reasons to why he failed over there, and we probably won't go into that today on today's program. But nonetheless, he didn't get a real good opportunity. But the other dog, he went around. I thought he was pretty plain. He just got lost at sea. And Wentworth Park's one of them tracks, Shorty, where you really do need to have a fair few looks there. So unfortunately, my plan was just to get over there and give them two trials. But with lack of staff here at home, I couldn't do that. And we paid the penalty with only getting the one look before they went around there. So, back to the drawing board, and hopefully later on in the year we can get back over there around MDC time and make up for what went wrong this trip. So, and then obviously Friday night, I was sitting there watching the Birthday Cup, and the great man Paul Stewart. He's the best in the business. He's good at what he does, and he knocked me off a nose. So. Actually travelling with him to Ireland, so I've already told him I'm not putting my hand in my pocket, Shorty, to buy a drink the whole trip. So he'll need to bring plenty of loot there. Euros, actually.
Very nice, Cornella, though, between the two of you. It wasn't all doom and gloom at the end of the day. And you have to be really proud of Curious Georgia. The job that you've done with her since coming across here to WA has been nothing short of first class, and she was in front there every grain of sand except for that last hop, and Barbecue Man got the bob in, but no doubt you're still very, very proud of what she's been able to achieve.
Yeah, 100%. Look, no, all jokes aside, if I was going to have someone beat me, it would be Paul. He's a great man. He's a great friend of mine. And obviously Ryan and Peter Cameron put a lot of money into the sport, so I'm very happy for them to knock me off by a nose. But, yeah, still gut-wrenching there, watched the race live and thought I won. And then as soon as I seen the slow-mo, I knew I was brown bread. But, good on them. And, yeah, she's done a great job, Shorty. I know she's been getting beat, but she's still running times that, are quite capable enough to win Birthday Cup. So she's just been a little bit stiff, and, she'll go around again this week. And, she's a great little chaser. And, like you said, you've said it before, Shorty, like Ryan has given her big raps, like the way she comes out of the boxes. So to have a dog like that just spears the lids every week and can dictate out in front is a pleasure. She's a pleasure to train, and hopefully there's plenty more wins in store for her. And even though eventually when we get to Kennington for some feature races there, you think the Ben Start would suit her even better. Obviously, it's 19 metres shorter than Mandurah, so that might be a better track for her as well. But look, in saying that, she's just done a great job for the kennel, and she's a pleasure to have.
Absolutely, and that trait that you just touched on, early speed, there's been very few dogs in WA that have had the same consistent getaways that she finds a way to get off to week in, week out. She's been one of the most faultless beginners we've seen here in WA, and it's a great trait to have, and it's often a trait like that if these bitches can throw into their pups down the track, so many races are won. You don't always have to have the fastest dog. If they have got that attribute of being able to get to the top and keep on trucking, you nick a lot of races on the way through.
Yeah, that's the key. She's going to be a great brood bitch, and Benny Damon's going to have a lot of fun with her pups, and hopefully we get to train a few. We did have a dog, Blackpool Flash. She was very similar, Shorty. We only give him 8 starts for 8 wins. He was a Victorian dog that came over and won the Birthday Cup a few years ago. He was the best I've had consistently coming out, but like I said, I only give him the 8 starts, and I think he ended up having 60 career starts or so. But yeah, for her just to keep producing, and I don't know, she just must have a love affair with them boxes, and yeah, we just hope it can continue, because the rare day that she does miss the kick, someone's going to get blamed for putting her in, and hopefully it's not me, Shorty.
I'll just keep it business as usual. Roll over and don't change anything would be the key. I would suggest the way that she has been going there in recent times. We have got our first race today for a broadcast here on TAB Radio for the punters to look forward to. It is Seymour, race number 1 at 10:30. So you've got a little bit of time up your sleeve here, Train. We'll have a look at the action tonight at Mandurah. Shapes up as being a very interesting program. Thought it was one of the more challenging Thursday nights. Generally, there's a couple that leap out off the page at me, but I thought it was a relatively tough card tonight. What have you come up with there?
Yeah, I didn't actually mind my 3 selections. I thought they had great chances. Hopefully we can continue that run that we've been having. I haven't seen any prices, Shorty, so if you go with them, if they're up, if you want to go with them as we go, that'll be great. But my first selection is race 4, number 8, Hulkenberg. This is a dog trained by Cody Charles. He's been racing really well against probably much tougher company, and he's very well boxed out wide, loves to scout wide in his races. The only thing is he does lack a bit of early speed, so he'll need to weave a bit of a passage through most of his rivals. The 7 obviously will be coming out. It raced last night, so we're down to 6 runners, and that'll help him sort of navigate through the field and hopefully get the chocolates for us. Race 4, number 8, Hulkenberg.
Yeah, no price up there, but as you've touched on, there are just the 6 runners with a vacant in 5 and now Blast of Iris, so it's going to get plenty of room out there, and wouldn't have to be Brett Lee to be winning this, it must be said. Just quickly too, I was put off a little, Train. We were due for a 10:10 start at Kembla Grange, but that meeting, I've just seen that meeting's abandoned. So you're in the clear there. It buys us a little bit more time this morning here on Great Greys, and accordingly the first race for broadcast there will be 10:30 Seymour. I'll quickly let the punters know that Tom is our $3.60 favourite there. He's on leave at the moment. Prince Marionette is a $3.80 chance. Bliss Bombs at $5. Stranded at $6. Cannyworth at $7.50. Helligan $13. Gliding Lightning is at 15, Immerse at 17, and Velocity Rose is there as a $31 chance. 19 minutes away, the first race of the day there. A 2-year-old maiden plate at Seymour. So we've got race 4, number 8, Hulkenberg, the first of your plays tonight there at Mandurah. Train, what's the next of them?
Yeah, the very next race, Shorty, race 5, number 1, Macaroni Manelli. He was a tragedy beat last week. I think we might have tipped him out as one of our best, and the poor getaway was probably the reason why he did get beat. I just think if he can reproduce that 6.28, which had him leading all the way 2 starts back, I think we'll see him go very close to getting the job done here. It's a very, very deep race. You've got dogs like Bakes on Lakes and a couple of dogs in the middle that have run quick times recently, but I just thought box 1, and if he can reproduce that early split, would see him sort of punch up and hold the lead and be too good for him. And I think this will be a very good form race moving forward, Shorty. There's a lot of handy dogs in this race. So race 5, number 1, Macaroni Manelli.
Race 5, number 1, the old Macaroni, and it's had the 15 starts of 5 wins and 4 placings. Bakes on Lakes from the same kennel, 13 starts, 4 wins and 7 placings. So pretty similar career records, but one's got box 1, the other one's got box 3, and that's why the train is steering us into the red. Macaroni Manelli, race 5, number 1. And the third of your plays tonight at Mandurah?
Yeah, one of my favourites, Shorty, is Gun Short Course, race 7, number 1, Rex Hunter. He's been winless since Northam's finished up for the season. He's had the 3 runs at Mandurah. Been a little bit luckless on most of them occasions, but tonight he gets box 1, Shorty, where he's had 12 starts for 6 wins and 5 placings, and the aid of a very wide runner in box 2, as we know. Esperance Ace does like to track wide. So Rex Honey's going to get a lovely map along the rails, and I think if he steps and can hold him out, Shorty, he'll be very hard to beat. And I just like him back in the red, and that wide runner on his outside, I think he'll be hard to beat. Race 7, number 1, Rex Hunter.
Yeah, I think the main dangers come out now too. Number 6, Solid Tanks is scratching, along with 8, Q Khan. So we've just got the 6 runners there. And
that's even better. I didn't even know that, Shorty. They were definitely dangers. So I think
absolutely.
that's going to bring him into short odds now. I thought he would probably might have been starting with a 3 in front of him, but not now with the 6 and 8 scratch. So he could be very sort of $180, $2 play. I'm not sure, but
Danny
DeVito.
It'll be Danny DeVito tonight. Very short.
Yeah, very short. I love your work there.
Yeah. So, but I tell you what though, you'll be collecting punters because with the main dangers out, wide runner on the outside, it just punches through, holds the rail, and from there it's game, set and match you would expect. So 3 plays tonight for the train. Race 4, number 8, Hulkenberg. Race 5, number 1, Macaroni Manelli. Race 7, number 1, Rex Hunter. Any of the other runners from the kennel worth following over the next few days, train?
I thought Curious George is in again Friday, but she's got Barla Race to contend with, drawn sort of underneath her. They've paired off before, and I'd like to think if I was drawn underneath it, I might have been a better chance. And then Saturday night, Ripper Moses got a horrible draw outside Crumble Manelli. He's going to begin well and crash left, so he's better off probably just missing it and hopefully running top 4 and getting into that final next week. So not overly confident on the weekend, Shorty, but probably next Wednesday night I'm going to have a fair few runners in that I trialled today that went quite well. So just look out for, and they're out of form at the moment, but Speedy Genie and Simple Sally both trialled very nice today. So hopefully they can get a run next Wednesday and go really well. So and obviously Sophie Keeping last night was a good winner, and she'll be in again next Wednesday. So small team, Shorty, with not many dogs in work at the moment. There's a few injuries and a few older dogs, and having a bit of a clear out, and just waiting on these Feral Frankie Ripper Memphis pups to come home in a couple of months. So sort of making room for them. So we'll be a bit light on the next couple of months, but hopefully, middle to late of the year we'll be back and firing and have a big team going to the races.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was a big win last night, Sophie Keeping. It took on Greyhound that the start prior took out the Claude Power Memorial from memory there at Mandurah, where it ran down Vinales, who'd been going really, really well, and it barged home up along the inside on that occasion to win. And last night it got up along the inside, but it was Sophie Keeping who just had all the answers late. It was a really nice win. Yeah,
well, I thought she was brown bred in the run, obviously very, very strong and good dog, that dog of Steve Withers, and but she's been racing at Mandurah in the 488, big U-turn tracks where it doesn't really suit her, and we've been great to get her back to Kennington. I did give her the one trial, and she did run 30 and 20 back a few weeks ago, and then we had her in, and that's when the meeting got called off. So she's sort of been left stuck at Mandurah, and the 2 turns are much better for her. She's a small bitch, and she's very speedy, and hopefully she gets a bit stronger and gets that time down a bit, because having that good early speed is a great asset around Kennington, as we know, Shorty.
Absolutely it is. So looking forward to seeing more from Sophie Keeping, only lightly raced, and plenty more races left in store, you'd suggest, off that effort last night there at Cannington. Lots of good chasing to look forward to heading towards the weekend. Of course, Wentworth Park on Saturday night, a really big night of chasing coming up there. You were across there last week. We've got the Futurity and Derby finals to look forward to. You saw most of these dogs last week. Can you tip us into the winner of the Derby or the Futurity?
Yeah, I actually like both races, Shorty. In the Futurity, there's a young bitch called Laura Keeping. She's drawn down near the rail. She had the 8 last week, and all she wanted was the fence, and when she got it, she rocketed it home. I think she's got a great draw and should be hard to beat. And the Derby final's a great race. I thought the scratching now of Trio of Clowns makes it very interesting, because the dog that will go into that box is a dog with great early speed, and he loves to cut to the fence. So I'm not sure the name of it, Shorty, but the dog Sid Swain trains is a Zigzag Man. It might be his run was unbelievable last week. Come from further back than Walla Walla and absolutely powered to the line. I think he's going to get a great map now that Mark to Market goes in the box on his inside. So, they're the two I like for the feature races over there. And the meeting's abandoned tonight, Shorty. I'm not sure why at Wentworth Park. So maybe when you're speaking to Simon later in the program, you can get an update on what's happening in Wentworth Park. But hopefully them finals do go ahead on Saturday night, and the two Group 1s get one and run.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we will see what Si's got to say in regards to that program, but hopefully all is well across there at Wentworth Park. Race 6, number 3, Laura Keeping. Race 7, number 5, Zigzag Man for the train there. They're in the Futurity and the Derby final on a Saturday night. They're both around that $3.50 mark, so might be worth having a little multi with those to give us a run for our money there on Saturday night. Magnificent catching up with you, Train. Appreciate your time as always here on TAB Radio. We'll hear from you tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily with Digby and Tim. Until then, many winners, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, Shorty. Have a great weekend, punters, and we'll catch you next week.
There we have it. The Shane Train Williams kicking off proceedings for us today here on Great Greys, where it's now 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. We'll swing back to our man, Matty McDermott. Matty, Kembla off, so we've got a pretty clean slate here on Great Greys today.
Yeah, severe storms in Sydney overnight. That would be the reason for Wentworth Park being off as well, I would assume. 10.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's time to catch up with our man Jason Campbell, find some winners tonight there at Albion Park as well as down there in Hobart. It's another stellar night of chasing up there at the Creek with some genuine top liners strutting their stuff throughout the course of the evening, and no better man to find us the winners than Jason Campbell. Welcome, JC.
Hey, Shorty. Yeah, you're right about that. Great night of racing at Albion Park and also Hobart. We've got the Devonport Chase down there, so a few real nice top liners going down there in Tasmania. So hopefully we can back a few winners for the listeners.
Indeed, and of course tonight there's the golden tickets where we get to see the run off these head-to-head max races. Really unique concept. Race number 9 there tonight there at Albion Park, and we're speaking about some of the real top-end operators here. If you're betting into the market though, these races are run in pairs and you are betting on the fastest times, the results. So first, second, third, fourth, if you're betting first fours, trifectas, exactas, quinellas and the likes, will be determined on time. That market at the moment with Tab Touch has Smooth Plane at $265, Lakeview Emily at $440, Blue Camara, the $1 Million Chase winner at $460, La Sagrada, the Sand Groper, is a $5.50 chance, Good Odds Cobber at $7.50, Warm Cockles, the Victorian, $11 chance, Rack James, who was very good for us last week at $23, and the outsider is Danger Zone at $31. Going to be absolutely superb tonight there, as well as the Clem Jones Cup for the stayers over the 710 metres. Black Silencer, the 245 favourite there. Valpolicella at $485 for Irish Millie. Pass Market 6, Aces Chance $650, Jeremiah Fire $950. It's 13 and upwards from there. Take us through your better bets for tonight there at Albion Park, JC.
Got to kick off in race 3, playing the pink box here, More Than Money. He's been really heavily backed in early markets. I think he's found his right race. He's just drew inside his last couple of weeks, hasn't jumped all that well and has looked to use the track. So I think getting back to an outside box is a massive positive, as well as getting into a small field. I think he maps extremely well here. Bears Bullet box 6. She's a known beginner and a known crusher. So I hope that she could put a bit of pressure on Kia Kaha. She's obviously been flying. She's been good to us in recent weeks, but I think More Than Money can idle up outside both those bitches and hopefully put them away down the back straight. Kia Kaha, she has been flying the line quite well, so I think we want to put her away down the back straight, not leave it too late.
Okay, so the floss runner there, More Than Money to get the job done, hopefully claiming Kia Kaha down the back section. Second of your plays tonight there at Albion Park?
Race 6, number 6, Dacey's Rory. He returned to winning form last week, leading all of the way from box 1. Run 30.03, which was just a tick outside Smooth Plains best of the night on a really, really rain-affected track. I think he draws particularly well here. He's always been a dog that has gone well from outside boxes. I know his record doesn't suggest that from an entirety perspective, but he does like to hold his line. So I think the key to this race, great speed underneath him, Mustang Hayes in box 5 and Travis's Scrub box 4, both hopefully cut back down to defence for him. Volante in box 7, noted wide runner. Should get plenty of room to move early. Lob second or third should be too strong in the concluding stages of the race.
For the White Hot Toms of Ellis camp, race 6, number 6, Daisy's Rory, and the third of your plays tonight there, JC.
Yeah, happy to get involved here in the match race schemes, or the golden ticket final, I guess. I think Smooth Playing, last week he was the fastest qualifier from this series. It was a little bit hard to line up the times because it was raining throughout the night. But to my eye, I thought he was probably racing in the worst conditions of the entire night. So 29.99 is a really sharp run on that track, given those conditions. Ideally placed in a two-dog field. Good odds covered to his outside, not a noted crasher, so I think he's going to get plenty of room to scurry underneath him, find the front, and clock the fastest time of the entire night.
I like it. Race 9, number 7, the Victorian Smooth Playing. What a wonderful campaigner this dog has been. One of the most consistent chasers in work at the moment. And JC teaming up with Smooth Playing in the Golden Ticket Final, that match race series there tonight. Race 9, number 7, Smooth Playing, currently at 265 on the fixed odds there with Tab Touch. Not only does it need to win the match race, though, punters, it needs to run the fastest time. So bear that in mind if you're having a punt there tonight on that particular race. Race 9, number 7. All right, that's Albion Park taken care of. Let's get down to the Apple Isle and have a look at the meeting tonight there at Hobart.
Race 9, number 9, Trey Fusis, I guess we call it the candy cane rug, gains entry, gets into box 6 here. Very, very happy to put a pen through her last 2 starts. Last week she was in the Devonport Chase Heat. She actually was leading before she got really, really smashed on that first turn there. So happy to put a pen through that. Start before she was in the Group 1 Hobart 1000 behind Bernie Burrow, where she did show a lot of speed, but once again, just tired late in the piece. Gets back to 5th grade company here. No speed underneath her. I think she'll absolutely Shanghai the lids, lead this race for fun, and hold off the probably Prescott finishing fast down the outside. But I think she'll be quite an easy watch, Shorty. Race 9, number 9, Trey Fusis.
I like the confidence there. Race 9, number 9, Trey Fusis, and race number 10 as our second play tonight at Hobart.
Yes, I don't think this will be as easy a watch, and we are taking a shorter price, so I guess it's probably not the smartest bet I've ever had in my life, Shorty, but race 10, number 8, Beast Royale, is clearly the best runner in this race. All you'll need is just a touch of luck during the middle stages of this race. He'll get back. Don't be too scared of that. As long as we can get any space whatsoever, this dog will storm right over the top of him. Expect him to go 2-1 in that last 100 metres. He's a very, very strong dog. Certainly looking for further. Definitely a dog you can put in your black book once he gets up to a middle distance. I think he'll win a lot more races. And, I think tonight's obviously his night back to restricted win company, coming off a Group 1 heat last week. So, Beast Royale to close off the night, a winning note at Hobart.
Race 10, number 8, the Beast Royale. Let's hope it's all over the top of them late with that big swoop. That is the case. Race 9, number 9, Trey Fusis. Race 10, number 8, Beast Royale down there at Hobart. JC punters out there that would like to see more of your handiwork, they can follow you on X at Campbell Jason. And, of course, you're continuing to do wonderful work with the team at Wolfton.
Yeah, well, hopefully I get re-signed for season 2. We're still in negotiations with a few of the sponsors for the show, so I've just been parked in the reserves bay just for a while, but hopefully, like Trey Fusis, I get my run soon, and hopefully I can capitalise like I'm sure she will tonight.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you will be getting snapped up. Don't worry about that, JC. You keep pumping out these winners, doing a magnificent job. We appreciate your time this morning here on Great Greys. Go get them this evening.
No worries. Thanks, Shorty. All the best.
There we have it, JC, with us here on TAB Radio. Jason Campbell does a great job following the form all over the country. But for tonight there, Albion Park and Hobart for the listeners to step into. Not too far away from catching up with Neil Brown, our Hall of Famer here on TAB Radio. We'll throw back to Maddie McDermott, and we're closing in on this first race of the day at Seymour, the 2-year-old maiden plate.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
Where it is now 26 minutes after 10, time to welcome in Neil Brown, our Hall of Famer, to have a look at this meeting at Sandown tonight. Welcome to you, Neil.
Challenge tonight. It's a really tough card, isn't it? And we're going to have to be at our very, very best to get through tonight's meeting with some cash at the end, I reckon.
It looks quite challenging. There's not a lot of the real top-end talent on show, which we're so used to seeing at Sandown. Nonetheless, there's no better man for the job than your good self, Neil. We've got 3 minutes to go till we take our first race for broadcast here on TAB Radio at Seymour. We can probably knock over this early quaddie. Take us through your thoughts. So the first race is a grade 7 over the 515 metres, and Make Me King is our current odds-on favourite at $1.80.
Yeah, pretty short, isn't he, Dave? I think he's the one to beat. The draw really suits here. I've got Make Me King on top, but I'm going to take 3 and 1 as well in the quaddy. So those 3 greyhounds drawn on the inside, I think, will decide the winner. But he looks the one to beat. Race number 2 is a mixed 6th and 7th grade final. Over the 5:15, these greyhounds qualify. I've got Nosy Bluey on top. I like the draw. Again, he's a bit short. He's won 3 of his last 4. He's been in pretty good form. I think, again, the 2 and the 3, the greyhounds could challenge on the loose in Texas President. So 1, 2 and 3 in the second leg. Third leg, pretty open here. I've gone fairly wide over the 5:15 for the restricted win. Plenty of chances. I've got 7 on top. Ancient Egyptian. I think the smaller field, a field of 6 here, will give the 7 a better chance to empty box inside. And I'm going to take 2, 1 and 8. I think it's a pretty wide open race with the Ancient Egyptian on top there. And the last leg of the early quad, I'm only going to take 2 here. You could probably make a case for Vodka and Ice, but I think it's between Cashing Out and Groovy Bird. They fought it out last week. Pretty impressive win by Cashing Out. It's won in the best time of the night, 5 of the greyhounds' last 7 starts. It's in fantastic form, and I think it can win. And I'm going to take Groovy Bird with it, but if you can stretch it, maybe throw the 5 in, could upset first time over the distance for Vodka and Ice. So 8 and 2 for us in the 4th and final leg of the early quad, David.
Okay, so we've got 2, 3 and 1 leg 1, 1, 2 and 3 leg 2, 7, 2, 1 and 8 in the third leg, and home with 8 and 2. You might stretch it out and include the 5 there if you like for that third leg of the early quaddie. Runners are milling around for race number 1 of the day here at Seymour. The money continues to come in for Tom here. Matty, I'll throw back to you.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great GREYS.
Well, we're having a chat to Neil Brown, having a look at this evening's Sandown program. We're up to the main quaddie. First leg race number 5 comes up at 5:25 WA time. It's a fairly open affair. Got the cash at $3, our favourite. And Brownie, I've been pretty impressed by a dog that goes around in this race. Drawn box number 1 tonight for Tom Daly, Ascend Ecstatic. I tipped this one out last Saturday night at the Meadows, and it was responsible for a really impressive win. These Droopy Sydney pups, of course, Droopy Sydney being a star of the UK breeding scene, and the few litters that the dog has here in Australia, most of them chase really well, and this dog's a very good example of it.
Yeah, he certainly is a real standout sire. He's siring a lot of winners, as you say, overseas in the UK and Ireland. And Tommy Daly's very astute. George Daly and Tom are very astute breeders, and they go far and wide, don't they? But, yeah, no, I've got him in amongst. I think it's a very open race. I'm going to take 2, 1, 4 and 8. I do think the 2 on the inside have certainly got it between them. Got the cash, is racing pretty well. Really solid form. But as you say, David, the red runner certainly in amongst this. But I do think Blue Falcon and maybe poor Alexis have got chances. So a very open first leg, 2, 1, 4 and 8. The second leg, race number 6, is open as well. Here a grade 5 over the 5.95. I've got Dottie's Gift on top to beat the 8 and 2, which I'm going to take in the quaddie. Won her last 2. Has won a number of races here. Races quite well on the track with 5 wins. But it is an open race. Bit of luck for Paul Lewis out there wide over the 5.95 and the 2 on the inside. Ryko Dusty has got that inside draw with a good chance from there too. So 5, 8 and 2. Race number 7, wow, this is nearly a field job. The 3's come out, which I did have amongst my 4 selections. So I've trimmed it back to 2, 1, 6. I've got Poor Utility on top, placed his last couple here. I think he might be in for a win, but certainly chances to the red, Poor Imperial, and the 6, your runner Xavier, drawn out wide for Tommy Daly, is in very good form, only a youngster with 4 starts to his name. But, 2, 1 and 6 we're going to take now and see if we can get that. But it's a pretty tough race. Coming home for race number 8 here, an open race over the 5.15 for grade 5s. I'm going to take 4 of them, 7, 1, 5 and 6. I've got Zipping Kai on top. He's got the best winning time on the track for this group, and he does race quite well here at Sandown. The draw is probably a bit of a worry, and he's hit and miss. If he comes out, he's the best dog in it, I think. But Poor Harry's a chance, and the 5 and the 6 also, Sprightly Cyan and Colac Kid, I think have got some claims in the race with a bit of luck, but really wide open quaddy. So we would expect a decent dividend today, but tonight if we can tag this, because they are 4 very open fields. Looking for a best bet, David. I didn't think there was any real standouts at our sort of pricing we like. So I'm going to be a bit ambitious and take a multi with the 3 reds in a row, 9, 10 and 11. Flying Zulu into Reaper and Minter Frost, a bit of odds. Got a couple to beat there, but it's a good race, the 11th. But let's see if the 3 reds can get home in a multi for us, David. But no real standouts on the card tonight at Sandown Park.
That's okay. We'll hopefully jag either the early or the main quaddie, and then we're all about the red late in the card with race 9, number 1 Flying Zulu, race 10, number 1 Reaper, and race 11, number 1 Minter Frost. That'll be a pretty nice multi if we can land that. You might be able to take the doubles and also the trebles on the way through there, punters. It's certainly at a pretty juicy quote. If all 3 of those can land, $12.32 the multi with all 3 of them. And as I said, you can take the doubles, maybe the all-up place. There's a few different options for you late in the program tonight there at Sandown Park with the red runners, 9-1, 10-1, 11-1. Beautifully done, Neil. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Have a wonderful night there at Sandown. Look forward to our chat. Not next week because I'm on a week of annual leave, but the week after that. So a fortnight from now. Until then, many winners, mate.
Yeah, good luck and good punting. Thanks, David.
Yeah, we have it. Neil Brown with all of the latest for tonight's program there at Sandown. Matty will swing back to you. No doubt those divvies from Seymour race number 1 are just hot off the press.
2.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's now 23 minutes away from 11 o'clock and time to get across to South Australia and catch up with our great mate Sean Matheson. See if we can't identify a few winners tonight there at Angle Park as well as deeper into the weekend. How do we find you today, Sean?
Yeah, hi David. Yeah, great to be on the show with you again today. Really looking forward to the racing in South Australia tonight and over the weekend, but definitely the highlight is tonight's program at Angle Park, which features our listed SA Sprint Championship, which is race 8 on the program with all our best high-quality sprinters going around after the heats were run last week. And we've got 5 heats of the John Gray, which is always a time-honoured event. So a really nice program tonight.
Indeed, and the former West Aussie Peaky Boo has certainly made a splash since arriving across there in South Australia. 14 starts track and trip, 9 wins and 4 placings, and cashed in on that box 1 draw there last week, running a scintillating 30 and 11.
Yeah, David, I think that time of 30-11 for an SA trained dog, I think might have even been the fastest time run by an SA trained dog. We've obviously had a handful of dogs go quicker than that, but mainly interstate dogs here for the Adelaide Cup Series and also the Match Race Series. But to have Peaky Boo run that sort of time is a terrific performance. And it's a greyhound that, had 1 start in 7 months last year for the Rawlings Kennel. And I'm sure they were disappointed the dog didn't race more because early last year the dog ran second in the launching pad in Victoria, and the sky was the limit, then had this time off. But it's a terrific training performance and perseverance that they've been able to get this dog right back to his very best. And Peaky Boo was brilliant in running 30-11 last week and just clearing out from high-quality opposition.
Indeed, and credit to Benny Rawlings. He's got the top 2 favourites in the market, Peaky Boo, Fear the Dragon, and also Pet Detective, who's been a really consistent dog. He continues to knock up training a pile of winners over there in South Australia. All right, Sean, take us through your 3 main plays tonight there at Angle Park.
Okay, so the 3 main plays. The first one, David, does come up in race 5, and it's number 7, Zinfandel Party for Shirley Barber. This greyhound, she's been in really terrific form going through the grades. She's raced against Peaky Boo 4 runs ago in the Christmas Sprint. She did end up winning the Inferno series over our Festival of Fire, which was sort of the middle class sprinters. So she's really progressing nicely. And last week she was up to the 595 metre journey and was very, very strong in beating a good field. So I think coming back to the 530 at grade 5 level, she's drawn out in box 7. She can handle a wide draw. She's got speed and she's got strength. So I just think that she just rolls forward early, clear running, probably accelerates into the back and goes around them. But if she doesn't begin as she normally would, then she'll just, I think she'll just get to the rails, be about third or fourth early, and just her middle distance strength should be able to get her over the line. She is short enough, David, but I think about the 210, 220 mark is not a bad price.
All right, race 5, number 7, Zinfandel Party, around that $2.15 mark on the fixed odds with Tab Touch to kick off proceedings. Your second play?
Second play does come up in our feature event tonight, the SA Sprint Championship. And what is a terrific field. I was just looking at what was potentially the best drawn dog in the event, and I can't go past number 7, Fear the Dragon, for the Rawlings camp, as you mentioned, David, on the second line of betting around that $4 mark. I just think that he loves a wide draw. I think he performs at his best from out wide, and he has really good early speed. So I just see him avoiding any sort of trouble that could happen to some of the favourites. And my concern for some of the other favourites in the race is Fantastic Spike, drawn the 5, wants to get off, and Peaky Boo, drawn the 6, wants to get down. I just think they might just tie up a little bit just in the first part of the race that allow Fear the Dragon just to progress forward, really accelerate into the back straight, and hopefully be in front turning for home. Probably the last little bit, you just be a bit worried with them running home powerfully. But I think Fear the Dragon can be able to open up enough of a break and get the job done in our feature race tonight.
So $4.20 about race 8, number 7, Fear the Dragon. And your final play tonight?
Final one comes up in the next race, race 9, and this is a 595 metre females event. Very, very even event, but I do like number 8, Amazed by You, for Colin Swain, around that $5 mark. I think she gets a beautiful run across. Yoda Lady should show good speed to her inside, probably leads. Amazed by You just lobs second. And Yoda Lady is a dog, she does get off the rail a little bit late in her race, and Amazed by You was a really good run last week in running third, and she got checked off the back straight and would have finished a lot closer. Yoda Lady ran second in that race last week, and I think hadn't got that check off the back straight, Amazed by You runs past Yoda Lady. So I see the race sort of panning out similarly, and I think at the $5, she's a much, much better bet there for the listeners tonight.
Okay, so a bit of value there about race 9, the Fairy Floss runner, Amazed by You. So in recap, 5, 7, Zinfandel Party, race 8, number 7, Fear the Dragon in the feature, and race 9, number 8, Amazed by You. We also have chasing at Murray Bridge on Friday, Angle Park with the early kickoff on Saturday morning, and Gawler on Sunday. Anything of note there for the punters?
Just for the punters, one at each venue, David. So tomorrow, Murray Bridge. I like race 1, number 1, Hit Top Gear for Tracy Price, a greyhound who does like an inside draw. This is over our staying trip, the 680 metres, on the back of 2 good thirds and a good third at Murray Bridge last week. I think nicely drawn in the red box. She can just hug the rail throughout, get the job done for the listeners tomorrow at Murray Bridge. Angle Park on Saturday morning, our time-graded event. Very wide open races. I'm going to go with race 8, number 4, Compton Serena for Don Gordon. Didn't mind her last start performance in running fourth. She doesn't have any form, but in this race, none of them have form. So I just didn't mind her performance. I think with a slightly better beginning, she can really do well for the listeners. She should be at each way value there as well. And then at Gawler on Sunday night, one of our feature meetings there at Gawler, it's actually got the Golden Maiden Heats, which is our sort of feature maiden at our Gawler track, which is races 2 to 4. But I do like one in race 9, number 5, Springvale Reader for Gavin Harris. She wasn't a bad run after returning from a slight break last week over the 595 at Angle Park in running 5th. slightly weaker company here. She should be able to either lead or race on speed and just show her class and be too good.
Very nice indeed, punters. In recap there, Murray Bridge race 1, number 1 on Friday, hit Top Gear, Angle Park Saturday, race 8, number 4, Compton Serena, and Gawler Sunday, race 9, number 5, Springvale Rita. A very comprehensive look at South Australian chasing over the next few days, as always. Sean, really appreciate your time, mate. Have a wonderful weekend and look forward to chatting with you a couple of weeks from now. I'm off on a week of annual leave next week, but in a fortnight's time, we'll do it all over again. Until then, many winners.
Oh, no worries, David. Enjoy your break. You don't get many opportunities, so do enjoy it.
Thanks so much. Sean Matheson with us here on A Great Greys, doing a great job looking at all of the action there at Angle Park tonight, and then into the weekend, Murray Bridge, Angle Park on Saturday, and Gawler again on Sunday. You
are listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
And I'm delighted to be welcoming in for the first time in 2025 to Great Greys, Simon Orchard. Hello to you, Simon. I hope the festive period was very good to you. How do we find you today?
Yeah, g'day Shorty, g'day listeners over there in the West. You find me a couple of kilos heavier for the festive season. Shorty, I jumped on the scales last night for the first time and went, oh, a bit like that Simpsons episode where Homer realises he's really packed it on. So, mate, I had a good time. Family, friends, sun, lots of frivolity. So hopefully your listeners did as well.
Absolutely. That's what this time of year has been all about, that is for sure and certain. Now, we found out a little earlier on this morning that tonight's program there at Wentworth Park's been called off, but Matty McDermott, with his finger on the pulse, was saying that there's some pretty brutal weather conditions across there in your neck of the woods at the moment. Is that the case?
Yeah, spot on, mate. Wenty Park is off horror conditions. The only best way to describe it, mate, not only in Sydney, but all up and down the coast and even inland. We had Gunnedah called off late last night. Dapto at the moment is still going ahead. The latest was half an hour ago that the Dapto track is in not fine order, but in pretty good order, and will be ready, cherry ripe to go later tonight. Richmond Straight has been run so far today. I can't believe how good the Richmond Straight track looks considering it's grass, but I got some photos this morning and looking at the racing online, it looks cherry ripe. So things going well there. But Wenty Park is off, and it's important, Shorty. I know we don't want to harp on the negatives here, but there's been a lot said about the Wenty Park track in the last couple of weeks in particular. WA trainer went on the record earlier this week, not very happy with the state of affairs last Saturday night, and local trainers aren't overly happy as well. So I'm not necessarily drawing attention to it, Shorty, but I think it's the right decision, knowing that we've got such a big night Saturday night. Get the track cherry ripe. If we'd pushed the dogs out there tonight, not only would it be unsafe for participants, but who knows what state it would be in come tonight or even early tomorrow ahead of what is one of the big nights of racing in 2025, the Derby, Futurity and Summer Distance Plate. So I think we've pulled the right rein, call the meeting off, get it in good order, hopefully in the next 48 hours, and we can race on what we hope is a pristine surface come Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. You're looking forward to those finals as well there on Saturday. Get to see some very talented youngsters strutting their stuff at Wentworth Park there, as well as that lovely race over the longer trip as well for the 720-metre performers. And, that's drawn together an excellent lineup there. Kenya Amy, Late Night News, King Tide, Law Book, Bandit Darryl, Kenya Vivi, and also Sinrap Explode. Siska Lucy gets a start there as the reserve in that race as well. But you'd be happy to take any of those home with you and be involved in the ownership. A really nice group of up-and-coming stayers on the way through there, as well as a couple that have been around the circuit for a while doing good things. I'll handball across to you, Simon. You can take us wherever you would like to help find a few winners over the next few days in New South Wales chasing.
Yeah, absolutely, Shorty. If you want to have a bet today, I mentioned that Dapto card coming up later tonight. The best bet, 7-4, dusted over. So just keep in mind, the track at the moment is raceable. So 7-4, the best bet there tonight at Dapto. If you want to have a play at Casino, you can go 7-8 Kingsbray Wesley. So there's two today. And then let's focus in on Saturday night. You mentioned that staying race. On one hand, you could say, well, look, we don't have the star quality that we've had over the last couple of years. You know, your Palawar Kings, Valpolicellas, your Super Estrellas. But, as you said, Shorty, maybe this is the potential next crop. And I'm looking at a couple of dogs from the Lord Kennel, King Tide and Law Book. I can't really split them, but The rap on them has been huge for the last couple of months, that they cannot wait to get up to the staying trips and that they're going to be stars of the future. So watch this race with interest. Late night news for Caroline Hughes also adds some intrigue. Stepped up to the trip, I'm going to say about a month ago. First run over 700, ran about 41.70 and then run 3 on the bounce. Last week was its only loss over the staying trip, but I think it's going to be a big improver. Got into a real jostling match last week in the heats and just took a bit of sting out of Late Night News' legs, but still hit the line hard. So I like Late Night News, but also watch the Lord pair on Saturday night. If we go to the futurity, Shorty, race 6, I love Laura Keeping in box 3. Coincidentally, box 3's won the last 4 futurities. I haven't seen a stat like that for a while. That's not the reason I'm with it. I just think 6 starts at Wenty Park, seems to be getting better and better with each run, drawn beautifully in box 2. I think Torment is going to lead from box 1. And then I'm thinking My Munro and Screaming Violet are going to run great cover for Laura Keeping, who should get the run of the race. 29.62 last week in the heats, trained by J.L. Patea, owned by Charmaine Roberts. As I mentioned, a greyhound on the up, and she's won her last 3 at Wentworth Park, and she's knocked a length or more off each of her PB. So Laura Keeping for me in the futurity, that's race 6, number 3. And then the Derby, I reckon, depth-wise, this is one of the best derbies we've seen in the last period. You've got Zipping Christoph, probably boxed to lead from 1, although Mark to Market comes in to box 4 after Trio of Clans has been scratched. This dog absolutely flies to the first mark. Shorty, 5.45, 5.40, 5.35. They're all first splits from the last 6 or so starts. So I reckon Mark to Market, Zipping Christoph will lead, and then it's just a matter of who can get him behind. I love Zigzag Man, and I think is the best dog in the race moving forward alongside Jungle Johnny, but box to the advantage of Jungle Johnny. I like Zigzag Man, a low of 29.37, a dog that absolutely savaged the line last week and is really starting to work out how to work his way through a field. So for me, 7.5 Zigzag Man, but as I said, it's a really good race. Paul Oswald ran in the Group 1 Paul Wheeler, less than a month ago, so it's obviously a dog boxed pretty well. Jungle Johnny, I mentioned, the fastest through the heats, who looks like he's turning into an absolute star under the tutelage of Mark Gadd, a low of 29.46. He's a good dog as well, but I just like Zigzag Man. I think he's going to get a bit of room to move, and hopefully he can jump onto the back of Mark to Market through that first bend. So 7.5 Zigzag Man, 6.3 Laura Keeping. I think Late Night News might be the tip in the summer distance plate. But it's going to be a ripper of a night, mate. Make sure you get down to Wentworth Park. You ever heard of Big John, Shorty, by the way? A bloke called Big John, the influencer, who says Bosh all the time?
No, it's a little out of my wheelhouse, that one, as it so happens, Simon. But, mate, I'm not a cool cat. I'm not down with the stuff that the kids roll with these days.
Oh, mate, you're plenty cool, but he will be at trackside on Saturday night. So last year, you were there, $1 Million Chase night. We had the Hello Sport guys doing a live activation down on the track, and I'm sure you saw it as well, mate, but there was young people everywhere, and it was a really great vibe. Big John has been taking social media by storm. He's a bloke that loves his food, he's a larrikin, he loves his sport as well. So he'll be there. I'm not sure who's paying him, but he's going to be there trackside and hopefully drawing in a big crowd as well. So if you want to see Big John, come on down, but it's going to be a bumper card. Kicks off at 7:09 Saturday night, and I'm sure the track staff are working overtime as we speak to get that place in order for what's going to be a big night of racing.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Will you say hello to Big John for me and give him a little bit of high-fiving or bosh or whatever he's into, bussy, whatever we roll with, the terminology of the young people these days. I'm not up with it all, Simon, but I'm loving the fact that they're turning up and getting around greyhound racing.
I love it, mate. We're just two daggy dads just hanging out, just trying to work out what's going on in the world. But anyway, they tell me that he's very popular and there'll be a lot of people there, so I'm looking forward.
I love it. Big John, get around him and follow this man at thedogs.com.au, Simon Orchard. He's a star. We love having him on Great Greys each and every week. Thank you, Simon.
Good on you, Shorty. Hooroo.
There we have it, Simon Orchard with the latest in New South Wales greyhound racing. We will round out the program today. I didn't actually have a lot tonight there at Mandurah for the punters today. Certainly Rex Hunter, I thought it'd be a bit trimmer than with the scratchings. I think it's now around $1.65. You can absolutely throw that into your multis tonight. It'll be winning off the inside. Race 7, number 1. I thought that Negroni came up at a decent price. I thought that it was at least worthy of throwing into some, it's a pay 1 and 2 only now, but yeah, definitely at the price of $6.50, Negroni each way could give a little bit of cheek in race 9, number 5, Negroni. And that is about it. It was a bit of an empty shelf for me tonight there. Very low-key evening on the punt at Mandurah on what's a pretty tricky night. But the Shane train, if you're looking to team up with him, he was keen. Race 4, number 8, Hulkenberg. Race 5, number 1, Macaroni Manelli. And race 7, number 1, Rex Hunter. Also, if you missed earlier on the program today, Jace Campbell, Albion Park. Race 3, number 8, More Than Money, his best. Race 6, number 6, Dacey's Rory. Race 9, number 7, Smooth Plane. Down there in Hobart, race 9, number 9, Trefusis. And race 10, number 8, Beast Royale. Sandown this evening with Neil Brown. Early quaddie, 2-3-1, leg 1. 1-2-3, leg 2. 7-2-1 and 8, leg 3. Home with 8 and 2. And then in the main quaddie, 2-1-4-8, leg 1. 5-8-2, leg 2. 2-1-6, leg 3, home with 7-1-5 and 6. And his multi-play tonight there at Sandown, you'll wait till late and just stick with the red rug. Race 9, number 1, Flying Zulu. Race 10, number 1, Reaper. Race 11, number 1, Minter Frost. And we just heard, of course, with Sean Matheson at Angle Park. Race 5, number 7, Zinfandel Party. Race 8, number 7, Fear the Dragon. Race 9, number 8, Amazed by You. And then into Murray Bridge Friday, 1-1 Hit Top Gear. Angle Park Saturday, 8-4 Compton Serena. And Gawler Sunday, 9-5 Springvale Rita. That brings to a close Great Greys for this week. As I've touched on through the program, there'll be no edition next week. I'm off getting a little bit of R&R after working through the Christian New Year period. Looking forward to a little bit of downtime and rejoining you again in a fortnight's time. We'll be back on the 30th of January for our next edition here of Great Greys. The man doing a wonderful job, as always, in the TAB radio studios, helping to put it all together, Matty McDermott. Great work, Matty. We'll catch up again in the very near future. See you in a couple of weeks' time. All right.